and simple pendulum we were discussing. In that we have discussed simple pendulum. What is simple pendulum? That all we have discussed. Bob and the effective length we have discussed. Okay. Then we have discussed some terms related to simple pendulum. What they were? First we discussed was oscillations. One oscillation is how much? One complete to and fro motion. That is, if it is a pendulum, one complete to and fro motion means this is the mean position, rest position, goes to one extreme position, comes back to the mean position, goes to the other extreme position, come back to the mean position. So goes here, comes back, goes here, comes back. So from mean position to extreme, extreme to the mean, back to the other extreme, mean position. This is one oscillation. Or as well we can call this as one oscillation. From extreme position and coming back to the same extreme position. This is also one oscillation. That is one complete cycle. So one complete to and fro motion of a simple pendulum or of a pendulum or bob of the pendulum. It is called as one oscillation. Next we discuss period of oscillation. We call it as time period. That is time taken to complete one oscillation. Time taken to complete one oscillation. We represent it with T. Time to complete one oscillation. That period we represented as T. Time period equal to T. Then we discussed frequency. Frequency means in 1 second how many oscillations are taking place. So how many times the bob oscillates in 1 second. Number of oscillations per second. Frequency means number of oscillations per second. Okay. So what is the relation between time period and frequency? We represent it like this, F1N. What is the relation? How we can derive? So we have seen in t seconds, number of oscillations how many? How many oscillations? 1. In t seconds, number of oscillations 1. Okay, in 1 second, how many oscillation? 1 by t. T second 1. So divide both sides by t, that will be 1 second, will be 1 by t. These many number of oscillations, it means this is the frequency. Frequency in 1 second, 1 by t oscillation. So frequency equal to 1 by t. This is the relation between frequency and time period. They are inversely related. This is clear. Then we discussed amplitude. Amplitude means maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position. That is from here to here. This distance is called as amplitude. Maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position. On either side we can take. Okay. Then effective length of the pendulum. What is the effective length of the pendulum? What is the center of gravity of this bob? Here. And the radius of the bob, it is r. And this is the length of the string. So effective length is how much? L plus r. L plus r is the effective length. Length of the string plus radius of the bob. Okay. What is effective length? And this is a way to define, that is from the point of suspension to the center of gravity of the bob. To the center of the gravity. Distance between point of suspension and center of gravity of the bob. That is our effective length of pendulum. This length is effective pendulum. These all we have discussed last time. Okay. Today we have to discuss measurement of time using simple pendulum. How do we measure the time? So we'll be measuring the time period of the simple pendulum. What is the time period? That is to complete one oscillation, how many seconds it is taking. Okay, that we have to discuss. Any doubt till now?
Why?
Yes, Pragya. Okay.
Sir, someone is laughing.
That one Pragya was there. Pragya, any doubt? Okay. So this time anyone laughs or does, we know who that was. Okay. Okay. So next we discuss measurement of time period of simple pendulum. How we are going to measure the time. We took the simple pendulum of particular length. Okay. We'll be changing the length and we'll be measuring the time period. Okay. We'll be changing the length. So for different lengths, there will be different time period. Okay, we'll be measuring that one. So what we are going to take, a table will be making. Okay, here we have serial number. Okay, next length in centimeters we are taking. Okay, next time taken to complete 20 oscillations. Okay, then time period will be how much? This will be t by 20. Time period means to complete one oscillation we have to calculate. This will be our time period. This we will see afterwards. Okay, so initially we have taken length of 25 centimeter. Okay, initially we have taken a string of length of 25 centimeter. This radius we are neglecting for time being. Okay, so effective length we are taking as 25 centimeter, that is length of the string only. Okay, what we did, we took it on the side and left. Now when it completed 20 oscillations, from here move there, come there, one oscillation. So as we left here, we started our stopwatch and we measured time taken to complete 20 oscillation. We measured time to complete 20 oscillation. For example, it came out to be 20 seconds. Okay, these are in seconds. Okay, so time taken to complete one oscillation will be how much? 20 divided by 20, 1 second. This is clear? 1 second. Okay, now as we change the length of the string, this time we have taken 36. Okay, and again we measure the time period, time taken to complete 20 oscillation, and this time the time is 24 seconds. So for one oscillation it will be how much? Time period will be 1.2. Okay, similarly see in the book page number 23, different length we have taken. We have calculated the time period for different length of the pendulum, simple pendulum. Okay, at last you can see it is 100. When we have taken 100 centimeters, time taken is how much? 40 seconds. And what will be the time period? 2 seconds. You can see that one. 25. Initially it was 25. Okay, and when we have taken 100 as the effective length, as the length of the pendulum, time period has doubled. What you are going to see? Length we have increased how many times? Length we have increased 4 times. Time period becomes doubled. It increases 2 times or gets doubled. You can see it. Time, when length becomes 4 times, time period doubles. Time period doubles. So there is a relation between length and time period. There is a relation between length and time period. Time period depends on length. Time period depends on length, and how they depends. See here, when length becomes 4 times, time periods get doubled. So time period, how it is related? Square root of length. Square root of length. It is related with square root of length. Yes or no? It is related with square root of length. Yes or no? You can
Yes, sir.
see as well. If we take this as T1, this is for T1, this is for T2. And here, so this is T1, this is L1, this is T2, this is L2. So if I put in here, T1 proportional to root of L1. Second, T2 proportional to root of L2. Put the values. T1 is how much? 1. Is it proportional to root of L1? Root of L1 how much? 25. Okay. T2 is how much? 2. Proportional to root of 100. Okay. Now what you see? 1 proportional to root of 25. 2 proportional to root of 2 root 25. Have you understood this one? From this we'll be getting this equation, same proportionality. 2 get cancelled both sides, 1 proportional to root of 25. See here they are proportional. We got the same. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is clear. So what we are getting, T is proportional to root of L, because L becomes 4 times, time period only doubles. That means root of 4 we have to take here. T is proportional to root of L. Or it can be written as T square proportional to L if we square both sides. T square is proportional to L. Okay. Now if we take the ratio L upon T square, take it L upon T square, 25 divided by 1 square, 25, 36 divided by 1.2 square, again you'll be getting 25. 100 divided by 2 square, 4, again you'll be getting 25. All are 25. You can see it is constant. It means L upon T square is constant. You'll be getting a constant. Is this fine? L upon T square is constant. Okay. And this denotes the slope. That is, okay, if you plot this on the graph, if we plot these values on the graph, how we are going to get? We have already written T is proportional to root L, or T square is proportional to length. This T square proportional to L will be drawing on the graph. So here time period depends on length. This you all know. So length will be taken on x-axis, independent quantity. And here we'll be taking the dependent quantity T square, because T square depends on length. Okay. Now plot them. As you plot them, you will be getting a straight line. As you plot them, you will be getting a straight line. These values you plot corresponding to 25, 1. 1 square. Corresponding to 36, it will be 1.2 square, because T square we have to take. Okay. So how to find the slope of this line? Let it be L1. Corresponding to L1, T1 square. Corresponding to L2, T2 square. Okay. Now subtract them. So slope will be how much? T1 square minus T2 square divided by L1 minus L2. Or simply we can say T square upon L. T square upon L. That is the slope. Understood the slope? And this slope, this equal to what? This equal to, we have found some value, and this equals to T square upon L equal to 4 pi square upon G. Okay. This value has been calculated. So this slope is found to be constant at a place and is equal to 4 pi square upon G. Okay. Because from place to place, this G varies acceleration due to gravity. G is acceleration due to gravity. Okay. And acceleration we'll be discussing next chapter in more detail. What do you mean by acceleration due to gravity? Okay. G value mainly we take it as 9.8 meter per second square. Okay. We'll be discussing in detail in next lecture, and then we will be back to here to G. Okay. So from place to place, acceleration due to gravity varies. Okay. So at a particular place, it will be constant. It means this will be constant for a particular place. This we can take. Okay. From this, we are going to derive one equation. Okay. I can write it as T square equal to 4 pi square L by G. I can write it like this. Now take root on both sides. T equal to root of 4 to root of pi square pi root of L by G. This is clear. This you have to remember. Okay. This is no need to remember. This you have to remember. T equal to 2 pi root of L by G. Okay. How you can remember? L will be numerator or denominator. As the length increases, time period increases. Therefore, they will be in numerator. L will be in numerator. G will be in denominator. Okay. So this you have to remember. T equal to 2 pi root of L by G. Okay. This is the equation to calculate the time period of a simple pendulum. So time period of a simple pendulum depends on length of the string and acceleration due to gravity. Understood? It depends on length of the string and acceleration due to gravity. No other factor, it depends. Clear? This is clear. Any doubt you have, you can ask. If you have any doubt, you can ask. This is clear? Or all clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir, all
Okay.
clear.
All clear. Okay. Go through the video afterwards again. And if you don't get it, ask again tomorrow in class, day after tomorrow. Okay. So it takes little bit of time to digest. Okay. So all we have to remember here is this equation. This will be the most important one. Okay. And we'll be using this equation to solve many of our problems now, like factors which are affecting the time period of the pendulum. We'll be discussing that. Factors affecting the time period of the pendulum. Which are the factors we'll be discussing? Okay. So I'll be a bit slow
The
now.
exercise 1 in numericals we have to do in notebook.
Numericals, you have to do in notebook always. Okay, we'll be discussing them as well. Okay, so this is the
And sir,
equation.
what we have to do in lab manual.
Lab manual, don't worry about that. I'll be telling you next week. So don't worry about that. Okay, I'll tell everything about that. Okay, next week I'll be starting to tell. Okay, so now we're discussing factors affecting the time period of a simple pendulum. So whenever factors comes, write this equation and using this equation, we will see how the factors are affecting different factors affecting the time period. What is the time period? T. It depends on L and G. So first factor which affects the time period, length of the string. How it affects? How this length of the string affects? Okay, this length is nothing but effective length. Okay, always take it. See here, T is related to L. How? T is proportional to root L. Time period varies, is proportional to the square root of the length. So time period of oscillation directly proportional to the square root of the effective length. We got it from the equation. This is clear? This is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see here we are taking two things. If length increases, if length of the pendulum increases, what will happen to the time period? From the equation tell?
Increase.
It will as well increase. Length of the pendulum increases, time period also increases. Okay. So as time period of the pendulum increases, what will happen to the clock? It will make more oscillations or less oscillation in the given time.
More.
Check, see it again. See here. Now time period is increased. That means it will take more time to complete one oscillation. Okay, 1 minute. We
Yes.
take it other way. We take it other way. For example, we have 1 hour or 1 minute we take. Okay, 1 minute we take. Okay, when it have particular length. Okay, okay. Take the table as it have 25 centimeters of length. Okay, from the table again we take when length was 25 centimeters. What was the time period? 1 second. What was the time period? 1 second. Yes or no?
1 upon T.
25 centimeter when length of effective length was 25 centimeters. Time period was 1 second. What does it mean? In 1 minute, how many oscillations it has made? How many oscillations it has made in 1 minute? How many oscillations? When length equal to 25 seconds, time period equal to 1 second. So in 1 minute,
60.
number of oscillations, 60. See here, time period is 1 second. That means in 1 minute it is, now how many oscillations? 60 oscillations it is making. This is clear? 60 oscillations. In 1 minute, it is making 60 oscillations. Okay, now I have increased the length. For example, I made it 100. Okay, time period became how much? 2 seconds? Yes or no? For example, when length is 100, time period has become 2 seconds. Okay, so when I have increased the length, time period has increased. When length increases, time period increases. So number of oscillations will be how much? In 1 minute. This time how many oscillations? 30 oscillations? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Divided by
30 oscillations only? It means clock has become slower or faster? It has become
Fast.
slower or from 60 to 30. Oscillations are 30 only.
slow.
So number of oscillations made in 1 minute are 30 only this time. Number of oscillations made in 1 minute are 30. It means clock has become slow. Clock has become slow. It is taking more time to complete one oscillation. Clock has become slow. So our 1 minute, see here, our 1 minute now will take double the time. Clock has become slow. So it will seem to us that time period is very lengthy. That is 1 hour is very lengthy. Understood? So when length increases, time period increases. Time period has increased. So clock has become slow. Why? Length increases, time period increases. That means number of oscillations made in given time decreases. It decreases. It means clock has gone slow. So what? And this will happen in which season? Summer or winter?
Summer.
In summer, what will happen? Since our this string, it is made up of some metal or whatever metal it is made up of, it will expand as it expands. So in summer, what is happening? There will be expansion of the string. String expands as it expands. Effective length increases. Time period increases. Number of oscillations made decreases in the given time. Number of made oscillation decreases, and we say clock has become slow. It means clock has become slow. We have more time now. Clock has become slow.
Yes, sir.
Understood? Or in layman term, we can say earlier 1 hour was, for example, when there was no expansion, nothing. 1 hour was 1 hour. Now 1 hour has become 1 hour and 10 minutes, for example. Okay. In reality, it is 1 hour and 10 minutes, but our clock is showing that as 1 hour only. Understood? It means clock has become slow. Understood this one? Okay. Now in winter,
Yes,
what
sir.
happens? Now in winter, what will happen?
It will become fast.
Okay, I will take the same example. So in winter, contraction will take place. So length decreases. As length decreases, time period decreases. As time period decreases, it means number of oscillations made increases. Clock become fast. You can take the same example, just reverse. Earlier it was 100 and now it has reduced to 25 centimeters. Now such large reduction is not there. We are taking just for explanation. Okay. Okay, it's 1 minute. We take different values. 25 centimeters. 1 second. Here we take 1/4, 25. 5/4. Okay. I've reduced the length to 1/4. Okay, will become how much? 0.5. It will become 0.5 centimeter, 0.5 seconds. Okay, and here we have in 1 minute number of oscillation of 60, and this time they have become 120. Okay, so you can see number of oscillation have increased. When the contraction take place, effective length decreases, time period decreases, effective length decreases, time period decreases. Earlier in 1 minute, number of oscillation 60 was there, but now number of oscillation is 120, that is doubled. So pendulum will be moving more fast, number of oscillation will be more, pendulum will be more fast. It means clock has become faster. That is, in reality, in half an hour only it will show us 1 hour. That is only the time 1 hour is half hour is passed, and clock will show that 1 hour is passed. Understood this one? This time,
Yes,
what will
sir.
happen in winter? Winter, what will happen? In reality, how much time has passed? In reality, only half an hour. But our pendulum clock will show that 1 hour has passed. So it means clock has become faster. Whereas in summer, just reverse happens. Okay, when 2 hours passes, it will show that 1 hour is passed. If you take the same example, yes or no? In summer, the clock will show that when 2 hours passed, it was in reality 2 hours passed, but the clock will show that only 1 hour is passed. So it has become slow. Clock has become slow. Okay, this is just for example. In reality, such large difference don't take place. Okay, in practical, such large difference don't take place. This is clear time period of the oscillation, how it is proportional to the effective length. In summer or winter, you understood. So this equation, if you remember, this proportionality you remember, you can solve easily. Okay, this is clear. Okay, so second thing, okay, time period depends on acceleration due to gravity. Time period depends on acceleration due to gravity. How? It is directly or inversely?
Inversely.
It is inversely. So this time, T is proportional to 1 upon root G. T is proportional to 1 upon root G. Okay. So for example, this is surface of the earth. Okay. Here we measure the time period. Now we go up in the sky, we measure the time period. We go deep inside the earth, we measure the time period. This is our T1, this is our T2. Okay. What we see, T1 and T2, how they varies, that we have to see. Okay. So if gravity decreases, okay, how the gravity varies? Gravity is maximum on the surface of the earth. Remember this one, gravity is maximum on the surface of the earth. As we go deep inside the earth, or if we go up in the air, the gravity decreases. Okay, this is the graph for gravity with respect to distance. Here is the radius of the earth. Okay, you can see it is maximum on the surface. Radius of the earth, it is maximum. As you go deep inside the earth, it decreases. As you go up in the air, it decreases. So maximum is on the surface of the earth. So always remember, gravity, acceleration due to gravity, it is maximum on the surface. It decreases up in the air. It decreases when we go deep inside. So as gravity decreases, time period increases or decreases? It increases because they are inversely related. It increases. Okay. As time period increases, our clock become fast or slow?
Slow.
It will become slow. It is same the
Yes,
case
sir.
of summer. Same like summer. So as acceleration due to gravity decreases, time period increases, and clock will become slow because it is going to take more time to complete one oscillation. So time period has increased. Time period increased, clock will appear very slow. Clock will appear very slow. Understood this one? So whether you take the clock and go up in the air or deep inside the earth, it will become slow. Okay. So it's a good advice. when you take the examination, take the pendulum clock, go up in the air or deep inside the earth. You will have more time to complete the paper. Okay. Okay. Two more things are we discuss and we'll leave. Okay. Time period of oscillation. Does it depend on mass of the bob? Does time period depends on the mass of the bob? Is any factor related to
No,
mass
sir.
there? See here.
Yes,
Time period is
sir.
not related with mass of the bob. It's not related anywhere. So time period of the pendulum does not depend on mass of the bob. You can take any mass of the bob. Doesn't matter. Next one, does it depend on the amplitude of the pendulum?
No, sir.
Again, no. There is no factor of amplitude here. So it does not depend on amplitude as well as mass of the bob. This is clear? And this is the expression for time period. T, time period, L, effective length, G, acceleration due to gravity. Okay, one more thing is remaining, seconds pendulum. So mainly at home we use seconds pendulum. Why it is called seconds pendulum? What will be its time period? Time period is 2 seconds. For seconds pendulum, time period is 2 seconds. That it means to complete one oscillation, it takes 2 seconds. To complete half oscillation, it will take 1 second. That is, from one extreme position to the other extreme position, it will take 1 second. And coming back, another 1 second, total 2 seconds. So for completing one oscillation, it takes 2 seconds. Whereas, okay, this is clear. So how many oscillations it will be making in 1 minute? Anyone in class? Time period is 2 seconds. How many oscillations it is making? That will be the frequency.
30.
30. You can calculate. In 1 minute, it will be making 30. Frequency is 1/2, and so in 1 second, in 1 second, half the oscillation. In 1 minute, 30 oscillation. That you can calculate. Okay, with this we complete the chapter. Okay, go through it. If you have any doubt, you can ask in next lecture. Okay, or you can ask it now as well. And the numericals, do the yes.
Sir, why is the formula of acceleration is meter per second square?
Okay, why it is? Okay, leave that for time being. When we discuss the speed, velocity, then we'll be discussing acceleration. Okay, for the time being, we'll see acceleration means rate of change of speed or rate of change of velocity mainly. Rate of change of velocity, what is the unit for velocity? Meter per second. Rate of change per second, meter per second square. In more detail, we'll discuss there. Okay, when we discuss, we'll be back here. Okay. Any more doubts? We'll be discussing acceleration in next chapter. Okay, in detail we'll be discussing. You'll understand it more. This is clear. Okay, we stop here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.